I am Darius. This is Sugarless Crystals, your sugar-free destination of YouTube. Now, I'm gonna try to keep this one shorter than the other one. I didn't see that coming. So I do apologize about that. But somebody in the comment section wanted to know what were some of the best sugar cookies out there. I mean, it's Christmas time and sugar cookies are like a thing. I'm not a huge keto cookie fan, but I'll do it by all means. I mean, why wouldn't I want to eat a cookie? They can never really get the textures quite right, and some flour is just necessary, like coconut flour. Coconut flour doesn't harden, like it's always gonna end up being like soft in a way, or chewy, depending on how you want to do it. But let's go ahead and dive into these cookies. I have 3 food bloggers once again. I have Stay Snatched, yeah, Stay Snatched. If you like it, I love it. Kimspired Do It Yourself, and from one of my recent collabs, Keto Foodie. Now, she raved about these on Instagram when they first released, so I was like, you know what? Let's see what's about. I checked the ingredient list and it seemed like they might be pretty solid. A couple things about this is I use pure sweetener. Now this is a stevia and erythritol blend. 2 out of the 3 call for Swerve, and then Keto Foodies called for the pure sweetener. And Truvia, but I didn't have Truvia. But the thing about it is that it is a stevia and erythritol blend, so just using straight erythritol, it calms down that cooling effect that the cookies will probably have, or the sweetener tends to have in itself. So I didn't want to use something straight, like just straight erythritol, because that's going to throw the balance off. So we're going to do Stay Saturated. Now her cookies consisted of 4 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cup of sweetener, 3 ounces of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 egg, and 3 cups of almond flour. The funny thing about these, like all of them came into like a dough. So you're gonna have no problem with that. Now they all spread differently. That's what you need to look out for. This particular one didn't spread at all. So you're gonna need to do the spreading for the cookie. I found that out later on while baking it, but now you know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? And this one didn't have to be chilled. The other 2 did. It's designed to be like chewy. I mean, a nice little texture in there. Okay, now I said 3/4 cup of sweetener. I only used a half because she recommended using a half if you're gonna use the icing, and I did use the icing for 2 of the cookies. It's not sweet by itself. Not very sweet at all. The texture is quite amazing though, I must say. The texture is wonderful. If you're looking for a nice cookie with a crisp on the outside, then a nice soft, chewy center, that's definitely gonna do the job. These icings for both of them, I'm not impressed with the ingredients. I don't know how well it'll work for the cookie, but we're gonna see. I'm just not, no. Now see, it's so simple because the icing for this one, it was 3 ounces of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of powdered sweetener. Now, I use more sweetener than I was supposed to. My bad. I thought it said 1 tablespoon. All right. I mean, but it won't hurt anything. You know, as I said, it already didn't have a sweetness to it. The cream cheese by itself was not fascinating to me because the cream cheese doesn't stand out like that. And I ate it by itself, but on the cookie, and I'm sure the sprinkles played like a little bit of part in it with the sweetness. But the cookie and then the soft texture of the cookie, the chewiness with the crisp outside, oh my God, that was nice. That was like the texture was just overall was just amazing, and just the texture being great itself, the taste like really just shined, like, you know. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I would definitely recommend trying that one out if you're into like the soft chewy cookie. All right, so next up I'm gonna do Keto Foodie. Now, as I said, she was the one I did a collab with a couple weeks ago. You guys should check that video out. I'm actually, I'll link that video down in the description box below as well. It was the one with my keto blondies in it. Hers was much more like a fathead dough. 1 cup of almond flour, a 1/2 cup of mozzarella, 4 tablespoons of cold butter, 3 tablespoons of pure sweetener, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a dash of salt. This wasn't the only one that had baking powder in it. To be honest, I don't really know why they put baking powder in any of these, because none of them rose. Like, and the components in the actual ingredient list, like there was nothing to rise from. But all right. I said hers was more like a fathead dough, and the texture came out like they're extra crispy. Yeah, they're really crispy. They brown around the edges. Let's check it out. Now in the pictures, hers they looked rather chewy, so I'm guessing maybe I made them a little too thin. They got a funny aftertaste to them. They're not nasty. Like when I first put it in my mouth, I get the flavor, the aroma of a cookie. And while I'm chewing them, they have a nice little taste to them, but they have the cooling effect to them. They just have a serious aftertaste. And if I taste it, considering I eat keto foods all the time, I know you will. Okay? A newbie? Oh my God. Psh. Get out of here. Her frosting was like super simple. It was 4 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of non-dairy milk, 1 tablespoon of Truvia, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and a dash of salt as well. My thoughts about this, like the non-dairy milk, that can be like a little off-putting to people, because when I first read it, I was like, well, what do I use? You know, because you have cashew milk, you have almond milk, you have flax milk. Like, you know, I mean, what do I use? What's gonna taste the best? What's gonna taste the best in the recipe? I think it would help for her to give those directions. But I didn't have Truvia. I actually used monk fruit. The monk fruit I used, the Lakanto, is a blend of monk fruit and erythritol. And I will drop that in the description box for you guys as well, so you can check that out. It's my go-to sweetener. If you don't eat keto sweets all the time like me, and just occasionally, like, it gives the best flavor. But if you're eating them every single day, it's gonna get expensive kind of fast, to be honest. Oh, let me taste the cookie. Jesus. She made shredded coconut flakes with hers, but I went with traditional sprinkles because I just didn't. All the food dyed, and preparing it, I was just like, yeah. Well, all right. Okay, so that one split on me. All right, let's go ahead before it falls apart again. I really should get some water while I'm doing this stuff. All right, it added to the flavor, definitely. Don't get me wrong about that one. And it gave like a nice cream flavor to it. Of course, there's no cream cheese in it, so it can't be a cream cheese flavor, but it's a nice buttery, creamy flavor because it's butter. But that aftertaste is still there. And if you're willing to work with that, it's a pretty solid cookie. Like, it's okay. I would see no one having an issue with saying they love this cookie. This last one by Kimspired Do It Yourself. She had a 1 1/4 cup of almond flour, 3/4 cup of powdered sweetener or swerve, 1 stick of butter, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Once again, I don't know why, but 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Like, you know, baking powder, when like it's not being used, can leave like a little funny taste in your recipe or your finished product. That may have been what happened with the last cookie. This one is like, it's made to be like a buttery sugar cookie. Like, there's so much, but there was a lot of butter in it. So I'm almost certain, because there's the same aftertaste, that either they used too much sweetener in the last two, it's the baking powder. That one was like everything I don't like about keto cookies. Like, I'm sure someone may enjoy it, to be honest. I just didn't. Yeah, it's a no for me, dog. If you like crispy cookies, it had like a buttery flavor to it, but that aftertaste, it just overwhelmed everything. It's nice and airy, as you saw in the photos. I'm sorry, not the photos, but the recording. I'm just not impressed by that cookie at all. Now, to come down to a verdict, I'm sure you guys already know what it is. Stay snatched. That cream cheese cookie of hers, I wasn't impressed with the cookie by itself, but the combination of the cookie and the cream cheese, if you're into chewy cookies, go with that one. Definitely. If you're into chewy cookies, like I said, it had a nice crispy edge on the outside, and then the inside was nice and chewy. She even recommends not overcooking them, like not letting them get like super brown, because she doesn't want you to take away from the chewiness on the inside of the cookie. And I don't blame her for it. Not at all. Not one bit. If you're into a crispier cookie, definitely go with the keto foodie one. I just recommend using the frosting with that one. To be honest, I knew it wasn't going to be very impressive just off the ingredients alone. Well, that is it for today. If you guys have any other verses you want me to do, hit me in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And I will see you very soon. I want to say this may be my first video after Thanksgiving, so have a happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone out there, and I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving to the best of your abilities. I'm not sure if you stay keto. Most people don't, which I don't blame you for it, but most people don't stay keto. But if you did, that'd be great. If you didn't and you still had a wonderful time, all the more power to you. I'm signing out. This is Darius. I am Sugarless Crystals, your sugar-free destination of YouTube. Till next time.